Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate y'all being here. I'd like to introduce County Supervisor John Joya.
Great. So we're all here, and this is a really good informed group. So it's not like we have to, although we are, but we don't have to go on long about all the great things about Anthony, because you're all here because you're supporting Anthony, right? Yes. Including great to see the UTR teachers here. And I mean, my biggest claim to fame really is my dad was a high school teacher at Kennedy for 20 years. So that's the most important connection. I know that he teaches at Kennedy. So those of us that went to El Cerrito High, that's okay, it's good. My daughter graduated from El Cerrito a couple years ago. So I know we are all here on a really important race. I just wanted to say a few words before I turn it over to Anthony. You know, it's great in life to meet young leaders who step out at a really young age and really want to make a difference. And there is no issue really, I think, no more important for many of us here in West Contra Costa than how we improve our schools. And I know each of you here in your way works on issues of improving our community and schools. And you know, the County Board of Education is important for what happens here. And what I really appreciate about Anthony is that he knows that it takes more than just instruction in the classroom to make student achievement improve. That it really takes support for the whole family. That it really takes support for all aspects of a student's life, right? Their health, their mental health, their well-being. In fact, you know, we are working, the county's working with the city of Richmond and the school district on creating a community school like at Livonia de Jean, where we actually have and pay for a social service individual who speaks Spanish, who works at the school. We call her a family navigator, and she links students to resources and services. It's that kind of support that Anthony knows is needed. And we've talked about, you know, how do we want to do partnerships and at the county level. And Consuela's been great at all of this over the years in all of her work. She's amazing. I just want to recognize Consuela. And say that really the message I think we should put out to our friends is that, you know, that connecting students and families to more than academic support is what's going to make our students better. And Anthony gets that. And I think that's the message, and people relate to that. Like after school programs, you know how popular after school programs are? People get that. They supported a proposition many years ago, Prop 49, to fund after school programs. So the message we should tell people is we need Anthony because it's going to make our community stronger. It's going to improve, he's going to work to partner with the school district to improve our schools. He'll work with the county, he'll work with all the cities. And he needs to raise money, that's why we're here today.
Right.
I know others are going to close on that. But let me just say, Anthony has a lot of really good endorsements. And I really appreciate the teachers' endorsements. Really appreciate that. But, and I think this is the point, his opponent's ballot designation is educator. Even though he's not an educator, he's a good guy personally, right? But he sells software, educational software. People in a lower visibility race like this, that ballot designation means a lot. So that means we have to raise money and get the message out and talk about who Anthony is and his background and his commitment. And the work, you know, he's done work here before he went into the military and then came back. And his great wife is a teacher at Kennedy High School. And so we need to put that message out to people, and we need to raise money. And that's why we're here. And we don't need to sell him anymore. We just need to raise money and tell our friends why it's important to support Anthony. So with that, I'll turn it over to the next Board of Education member.
Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate y'all being here. The theme of today's fundraiser was democratic leadership. We've had events focused on community where parents and community members have hosted. We had a labor fundraiser focused on labor, but today was about the mentors that I have in the elected space. So I really appreciate the support that John, Consuelo, Sarah, Cesar Zabetta, Gabe Quinto, and Mayor Jesse Adeguin have provided me, as well as State Superintendent Tony Thurman. I couldn't do this without the support that I have of the torch bearers that are going to be passing that torch along to the next generation. So I really appreciate y'all. Education is the foundation to our democracy, as I've said over and over again. The students that are in today's schools are going to be the ones that are in the labor force of the future, the politicians of the future, the industry leaders of the future. And I think we all need to do our part to make sure that we set that generation up for success. And that's where our campaign is focused on a multifaceted approach, such as supporting our teachers, supporting our community schools program, partnering with community agencies such as nonprofits like the Rise Center, Healthy Contra, Costa, working with other government agencies like John Joy just mentioned, the county office. But it takes a village to do that. And that's why I'm really glad that all y'all are here, because I hope that moving forward, these events don't stop with just fundraisers, but they continue going on to put in the work to support our students. Amanda Anderson and I have been to a couple of events around Siege Elementary School, and that is going to take a lot of critical thinking and outside of the box thinking to solve, right? Because it's not just a teacher shortage issue there, but it's a facilities issue. It's an issue of lack of community supports. And if we can tackle that issues of Siege Elementary School, I want to start there. I want that to be the model for how we tackle other issues going on in the community. And it starts with community leaders coming together like we are today. And so I really appreciate all of your support. And like John was saying, like the goal of today was fundraising, and I appreciate that because we had to get the message out there. During my time door knocking, I've talked to a few parents, and one of the biggest things that they keep telling me is, I wish I knew about you sooner, or I wish I knew about this office sooner. I tell them all about the great work that Consuela's been doing with Sarah on the board, and all the great things that the County Office of Education can do. And a lot of these parents have already transferred their kids out of the district, and they wish that they knew that these resources were there before they did that. I had a mom who transferred her, she was a 5th grader out of the district, but she has a child who's 3 years old right now. She gave me a challenge. She said, if you can turn these schools around in the next 2 years before my child goes to kindergarten, I'll put my kid into West Contra Costa Unified. And I told her I'd hold her to that because that's the goal. And that's the work that we need to do. In conclusion, I appreciate all of y'all's support today, and I look forward to seeing y'all after Election Day because we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm going to pass it along to Consuela.
I'm so happy that Anthony's going to be my replacement. When I first heard his name, possibly running, because I know him from when he ran for school board, the same time I did, and it just seemed perfect, that it was perfect for the board needs fresh, young ideas, smart people who want to collaborate. Right now they're kind of stuck in the 50s, and it's very hierarchical and exclusive, very cliquish. It's just a mess. But I think with these new ideas and the fresh, young energy, and Anthony just has so many ideas that are just really going to make a difference. Because people say that the county is so important. It can be important for our schools because it has so much potential. And I guess that's what's been the most frustrating, is that I see the potential, but you're not allowed to, oh no, you're the board, you're just rubber stamp. And so, we need to push back on that, and you do need to have a board that is going to be more proactive and wants to do the work that the board can do. We do professional development, technical support, and we have the juvenile hall and the court schools. I mean, there is so much there, and most of those kids over there come from our district. So we need to be at the table where all of those things are happening. And for the most part, the history of not having it there, anybody there from the board, it's just like, well, what do you want to do that for? But I think, it's all there. And then Anthony amazes me how he brings so many people together and collaborating, partnerships, teamwork. He's all about that. So I'm just really happy to support him. And I know that when you look at him, you see what I see. You see the future. You see a hope. You see all of the things that we want, for our leaders. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here to support him. And I thank you all.
Thank you, Consuelo, and I'm Sarah Butler. I'm also on the County Board of Ed. I represent Area 2, and I'm very excited for Anthony to join our board. I've known Anthony for, I can't remember exactly what year it was, but I used to come to West Contra Costa board meetings about 2010, 2011, it seems like, before when I first was getting more involved in education, and that's when I first met you and Mitzi. I don't know if she remembers that.
2017.
Yeah, and anyway, so I've known Anthony a long time. I know he would be great on our board. I agree with what Consuelo just said about the County Board of Education. A lot of people don't know what we do, but we also do charter oversight, which is something that is our real responsibility and exclusively ours, as opposed to what the county superintendent does in the county office. And so I'm anxious for Anthony to be part of that as well. And also with that, I'll just say, our board is 5 board members, so we each have 1/5 of the county. It's a big area. This district, I think you have about 125,000 voters or so. So being a big district, it takes a lot to run a campaign. So please support Anthony. I know they'll take more donations with the QR code, and Evie takes checks. Eve will take checks if you have a check. And we want to support Anthony to the finish line, and I know you're going to do it. Thank you so much for running. Yay.
Please enjoy the rest of our food and just relax and have a great time. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.